morning, guys. So as you can see, um Euro USD from last week, we had this imbalance candle. So towards the end of last week, we had bullish pressure coming to the market, and we have continued that way this morning, and that is due to the news over the weekend of the US government shutdown coming to an end, probably. So it caused bullish bearish momentum on the dollar, which in turn is bullish for Euro USD. So guys, you can see on the screen here also, if you look, I have my confluences written, so you can see what I look for right before I decide to go into a trade. We have market structure, which is swing, right? Here on Euro USD, as I've always discussed, we have our swing structure being bullish. So this is our swing low, and this here right here is our swing high. And then fractal structure is just the structure of each individual candlestick. Let's take this out so it can be clear. It's just the structure of each individual candlestick. So for example, here you have a break of this high, right, of this high rather, and then the next candle broke this high, and now this is our high. Where was our last low break? Right here. So these are low, so these are fractal low, these are fractal high, and now we're just waiting for, now you can see this candle is going for this daily fractal, high, so signifying further bullish momentum in the market. So for me right now, I'm not confident in any Euro USD sells. I would rather watch how this develops and see what happens, because fundamentally you can see, and we're already switching with the sentiment. So let's go back to the conferences. Let me not get ahead of myself. So we have, next thing we look for is liquidity. Liquidity is basically, what do we mean by liquidity? We have three forms of liquidity. Basically, we have first one, we have trendline liquidity, right? So for example, right here, so you can draw a trend line and, right, or something like this, right? Not the best example of a trend line, I think this one also, right? But this is quite nice. You can draw a trend line like this, right? Something like this, right? And you know, okay, so for trend line traders, you know liquidity are resting above here, so you can use that to your advantage by, okay, once for example, so we have one, we have two, and then we have three, right? So you know, okay, so if I'm a trend line trader, I'm looking to short from here, right? I'm looking to short from here. So, and then for you, what you want to do is, okay, you know there will be traps. So you want, okay, a break of that trend line, maybe perhaps like a fake out or the low, and then once that bullish momentum comes back into the market, you want to long it so that you can grab all of these stops right here and right here. So that is how to trade with trendline liquidity. Also, we also have range liquidity. So range liquidity is basically, let me see if I can find something, a nice range in market. It's a bit, but not quite. Okay, let me just draw it out because time. Okay, so basically range liquidity is when market is in a range, right? So we expect stops to be lying here, right, above and below the range, right? So sometimes you can see market coming out, faking people here, and then starting its real move downward, right? That's taking out that liquidity, right? So these are things that you look out for. So range liquidity, trend line liquidity, and also finally we have like this bumps in the road, right? This right here, right? All of this, right? So for example, you have, okay, let me just try it out. Yeah, push down, push, push, push. So this lower highs and low, right? We have liquidity resting there. This lower highs, we have liquidity resting there. So market can come take out those highs and then start to move lower. You get that, so going in that direction. So all of these are forms of liquidity that you should watch out for. And then next we have supply and demand. Supply and demand is very simple. It's just basically, okay, where's our push up before that push down, right? The buy before the sell down, right? So here you have supply, right? So that's basically it. So supply, right? And demand is just basically the sell before the buy. So basically right here we have like the sell down before the buy up, right? Give me a second. So we have it right here, sell down before the buy up. So that's basically demand. So that's basically demand. So when market comes into these areas, we look to take positions from them, because why, you can see like there was push down. So at this area you can say, okay, sellers came into the market, right? So perhaps there would be sellers again in the markets, right? So we look to take those positions. And then next we have PVD, which is basically premium versus discount. You take your Fibonacci 2, 1, 0, and 0.5. So anything in the premium area you look to sell, anything in the discounted area you look to buy. So for example, if we take this swing of Euro USD, right, from the low to this high, right? Yeah, let's do this. This is our swing low, this is our swing high, right? So now we're already in discounted area. So any buys from here is actually good buys. These are actually good positions. So you have to understand that. So that is one thing that I want you to keep your eye out for this week. We might be changing sentiment in the market. So then we have opens, right? As I've always discussed, if you've been here, any day, anytime you're here, we always talk about opens, right? Weekly opens, daily opens, quarterly opens, right? Yearly opens. These are important positions in the market because they can act as areas of support and resistance. Need I say more? Look at where we had this sell off from. Let's see, from this open, we have had a 265 pip sell off. So if you just saw this open, put your stop above here, right? You would have like just about like, this is just an example, right? Like you have to follow the strategy, but see, at least a 1 to 5. Like, so this is how good these opens can be. And like, so need I say more? And then fundamentals, right? You have to understand, okay, so what's happening, the global sentiments, what's going on with the world and things like that. So that also tells you, okay, which positions should I be looking to enter and which positions should I be looking to stay out of, right? And then fundamentals and sentiment, they go hand in hand, because that also tells you, okay, how is the market moving? Are we in a risk on situation? Are we in a risk off situation? How are traders feeling at the moment? So where is the money? So because we are just trying to follow the money, right? So that's very important. So basically my whole rant is, I'm not interested in selling Euro USD for now until I start to see perhaps double fractal structure shift below this weekly open. Then, but for me, I'm looking to take out this trap, these traders, right? So we've had long selling pressure, right? We've had long selling pressure, and I know there would be trend line traders here. So once I see they've been trapped and I start to see those break above the highs, I will start to look for longs on Euro USD, which if I look at the dollar also, like I would also, for me to look for longs on euro USD, I would like to see this area get broken from the dollar. Also, like strong bearish sentiments coming into the market, because this bearish pressure we can see this morning is based off of the US government shutdown news that they might be coming back. So for me, for me to see any short here, I want to see a break below here, which is similar to what I'm looking for on euro USD also. But I'm just keeping my eye out for that we might be seeing a shift. And then for GBP USD also, you can see we've grabbed liquidity above here. So this is also still quite bearish. So if we start to see some bearish momentum step into this market, I would likely take those shorts, and that would also be in line with the dollar. But if not, you can see we've grabbed liquidity below this, and then perhaps we start to see some higher prices on GBP USD also, perhaps to connect even into this area of support. So that's what I still favor. I still favor higher prices on these pairs. So any short I would be looking for now would not be highest conviction, because we still have like these descending highs that we can still come and grab, although we can still sell from here. But that would just be okay. I want to see breaks, right? I want to see perhaps one more swipe of the high, and then, because I don't see any nice area of supply here, so it would have to be like a double fractal structure shift for me to say, okay, I'm looking for shorts. And then also the dollar would have to be, it would have to be in line with the dollar also. So keep that in mind. Um, Similar for NU, we can see we had incredible downward momentum last week, so, and now we're just slowing down. So perhaps same thing, we would look for liquidity grabs, and then if we see that change of character, we would take a trade, because this is actually very bearish. And so that is what we're, but also I can see that sentiment is shifting to risk on pairs. Risk on pairs are getting stronger, like the Aussie dollar, the Kiwi dollar, Canadian dollar. These currencies are getting stronger, so you also want to be careful with selling them at the current market conditions. So as I said, look at AU for example, like it's coming into this strong area of supply, so we would be careful. We'll be watching it also and seeing, okay, because remember, swing wise this is also bullish, as you remember. Swing wise this is bullish, so we'll be watching it and seeing what happens in this supply area. So let's see what happens, but that would probably be maybe later in the day or tomorrow. Let's see how this develops, or even towards Wednesday. So with USD CHF, we started to see some downward momentum from last week, and this is looking beautiful. But I would wait for some higher prices, and then perhaps we get that. I would wait for some higher prices, maybe liquidation of this high, or preferably this high, and then you can scale. You can get those shorts in, but yeah, that's what I see for this. It is quite bearish, and it is clear to see. And we've grabbed some liquidity above here, then we slowed down, and then we broke below it. So I would like to just see perhaps maybe retest of this area, as this is now our supply zone, right? So we broke retest. This is now our supply zone, and now we're back inside. So let's see. I want to see some liquidity forming, and then if we grab the liquidity above this high and then get that change of character, then we would look for those shorts. But if not, then we just see what happens on this pair. We gold decided pushing up this morning, and that can be in line with the dollar pushing down. So well, for me, as I've been saying, I wanted us to get some higher prices on gold, but it's quite bullish, so this could just be another bullish run starting. So let's keep an eye out for it and see what happens. If we retest this area, then we can look for some longs, maybe to take out these highs, right? So let's see, let's watch out for it and see what happens. With USD CAD, we started to see some bearish momentum, and that's because Canadian dollar is getting stronger while US dollar is getting weaker. So we've come into this consolidation area, and perhaps let's see what happens. For me to take any longs here would be a break of this high, right? We break up this high and then retest, and then we start to look for those longs. But let's see what happens. Let's see how that develops, because this is our fractal high and now this is our fractal low. So let's see what happens as this pair develops. And with USD JPY, guys, as we've been screaming all week, like, we're just looking for bullish momentum on this, just buys on this, just buys. And yeah, so if you're in it from here, I don't know where we could have gotten in, perhaps on the 1 hour. Let's see. So we had this consolidation open area. So okay, so we had this liquidity grab right here, and then where was our fractal? Okay, beautiful. This was our fractal high. I think this was okay on Friday. Yes, so this was our, this became our fractal high. Then an entry could have been found right here. Could have been found right here. Maybe you want to be safe. It is quite bullish. Then you put your like for like a 1, 2, 3 to target this liquidity. So yes, we have, this is our fractal high break, and then you retraced into this, right? So this became our demand, and then we retrace here after grabbing liquidity to our left, and then you could have found an entry right here, I think on Friday, and then boom, could have just taken you to 1, 2, 3 at least this morning. Beautiful position overall. Wow. So that's, I think that was what we're looking for last week. It's quite beautiful to see. And that's JPY. So for now, it's just in another, I mean, this is as bullish as they come, right? So don't look for any sells on this yet. You just be trying to call tops, and which is unnecessary. So all you just need to start looking for is how to scale in for buy positions, and that would just be okay with event like this liquidity, and then you take another position. So where is the next area of liquidity? We have open right here, then we also have right here, right? So these are areas that you would wait for and then try to scale in positions, so, or try to get into positions rather. So that's all you should just be looking for on this. I wish you a wonderful day. It's a bit of a long video. I hope you enjoyed.